Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get started, go ahead and watch this clip. Say is this going to last? And my big answer, to be realistic, because you guys know I like to kind of keep it real here, is probably not. It doesn't last for any game at that highest of a level, because what these guys have to do to maintain their sub count and to maintain, their relevancy in the pop culture scene of gaming is like any pop culture figure. You got to star in some action movies. You gotta go and be working with the next biggest director. You've got to make sure that you're on the most competitive platform or game. Now, interestingly enough, this video was made August 14th. So that leaves us almost exactly 1 month ago, where I said after Nick Merckx, TimTheTatMan, and Dr. Disrespect all joined Apex Legends that they would be leaving. It's not anything wrong. It's just business. But what I didn't know is that he would actually start going on YouTube. So that comment about the platform changing as well, going to a new platform, that's interesting. But here's the clip that we want to talk about today that is getting us into this video. TimTheTatMan and Dexerto combined today to share this little Twitch clip or stream clip from YouTube, and I'm going to play it here as to why he is quitting Apex Legends.
I enjoy playing Warzone. And he goes, ugh. He goes,
this is to Dr. Disrespect.
What about Apex? And I said, no. I don't want to go get 2 KP, rotate and go to the little beacon, find out where the final circle is and go wait until the last 2 teams fight, when all of a sudden then I have to start fighting. I said no. No megalol, if you will. I said no. And he goes, come on, Timmy. And I'm looking at Doc. I'm like, Doc, your violence, speed, and momentum. Apex is get a kill and then rotate. There's no violence. There's no speed. There's no momentum. So I told Doc no. I said I'm not playing Apex. I'm not doing it. I enjoy playing Warzone.
So, as you guys can see, this has been hit with a lot of, I think, intensity in the community. Not only was Nick Merckx clapping back saying, this dude talks like ain't averaging 4 kills a game in Warzone, but most of the Apex Legends community has retweeted this. A lot of these retweets are coming from the Apex Legends community, and the reason is that they're talking about how you have no idea what you're talking about, because Apex Legends is one of the craziest, most violent speed momentum games that exists. And so what I'm going to do in this video today, very much so like these videos that you guys have been loving, clicking likes on, so please leave a like on this, is break down a little bit of TimTheTatMan's gameplay, because he actually played Apex Legends off stream, and I had a chance to actually look at him playing Apex Legends and come up with a few reasons why he wasn't being successful, and kind of give you guys some common tips to avoid as a new player coming into Apex Legends. Now, caveat about this is I will be critiquing Tim's gameplay. I love Tim. I've watched him for many, many years. He got me through a lot of boring hours waiting in the green room before I went live and casting for Paladins or Smite, and I always have enjoyed him and been actually really looked up to the fact that he can keep people entertained by really not playing very many games. But Apex Legends is not something he has that expertise in. It's very obvious. We all know that. He's a great FPS player. He's a very good jack of all trades. But Apex is a very specific game you have to get good at. So we're going to take a look at some few rules that I think Tim uses, but almost it's like kind of mistakes that he makes. And this is the first mistake that I think Tim makes that I want you guys to look at. This is something very, very uncommon, but this is him trying Apex Legends off stream. He's playing ranked here.
Running in, all right?
Go melee them. Melee.
What the
So, as you can see, this is chaos, but this looks like a lot of our games, doesn't it? This is because a lot of players in Apex Legends, especially in ranked, when they play ranked, don't know where they're landing, and they land pretty much anywhere and are always contesting. When you look at Hal, and you look at Asu, and you look at Timmy, notice how when they contest, they never get into these fights like this. Part of the reason is that there's no value gained from this fight. If you end up winning it, you have like 1 health and someone third parties you. The second thing is that this is someone who doesn't really understand where to go to get an advantage early. You're already on the back foot. And so a lot of new players' games are spent immediately dying because they don't understand where to go. They don't understand how to get loot quickly, and they don't understand what's worth fighting and what's worth just disengaging immediately. Throwing the caustic gas down, all that stuff, I could see it. But let's bring it to the notepad to make sure we got number one. I've got a new style of notepad because I know Devin Nash does this other thing, but I really like this one as well, guys. I really like this one. Check it out. And in fact, you can see this here. We start our second tip. Ooh, we got a little typewriter noise. Oh, it's cool. All right, so this is rule number one, mistake number one. I suggest people to not land hot to get better, but land hot to understand exactly where you want to land. And this is something that goes for ranked, and it goes for casuals. Land so that you're predictable, and you can actually go into a situation where you're predictable. We see this through the lens of Hal and Ace without really thinking about it, but when we have a player who's learning to play Apex Legends, one of the great things about kind of looking at these games is the fact that you actually get to see mistakes, and mistakes that maybe most of us make, that I make, that we all make. All right, let's head into this next one, because this is a very good point, and I think Tim really shows us what a lot of us do here, especially when we're hitting our shots, right? Because he hits a lot of shots there. Good work with the Prowler. And he's got the R301 Prowler. That a good loadout? We'll have. I want to talk about that.
Octane's one shot. He's 25-11 white right here. He's resing him right here if you push it at 2.
Okay. So, I'm not going to talk about the way this ends because I think his team goes over and finds that kill. However, this is a play where Tim basically, in all intents and purposes, if he was doing what Asu did or what Timmy does or what all these players do, and they were 1v3ing, they would die. It'd be game over, right? So, the reason that you're seeing this level of confidence is, A, he knows he has a teammate, but I want to break it down so that, let's say he doesn't have a teammate. How does he handle this fight? Because it's essentially a 1v1. Tim has maybe 50 health here to his name, and he finishes off one player with the Prowler. He knows he's so close to finishing that player off, and so what does he do? He switches guns, jumps down, takes a landing penalty, and exposes himself behind cover. Now, I want to tell you that maybe Tim is thinking, let me get excited. Violent speed, momentum. Let's look at what that might look like from Hal's perspective. We went into this in my last video that you guys have really, really enjoyed. And again, leave a like on these videos if you like these breakdowns. Let's watch a clip from Hal where he has very low health and he's contesting someone. Let's see if he makes a similar decision here.
Oh, did you miss it? If you did,
and I'm actually just gonna tie that down. First of all, you get to see that violent speed momentum. He had just hit a armor swap there that was unbelievable. Hit a huge Pathfinder grapple. Do you see what's different about this? So look at this level of health and Hal. He's still got a player up. And he's right there. His player's right there. But look at what Hal is doing. He leaves with 25 health. This is Tim feeling very good about this play, feeling the advantage, but he's got more health than Hal. What does he do instead of leaving, healing up, and getting ready to go into that fight? He gets a little overconfident, drops down, exposes himself with nothing in front of him, and gets shot. And this is what great average gamers do, and I'm one of them. I'm above average gamer, but I'm not Hal, and I know that about myself, and I know that about most people, and that's why I love this, because I'm able to be a conversation piece for people who see Hal but don't even know what the heck he's doing that's so different and why it's always working. Hal in this moment decides, you know what, I'm going to actually back off, get a full shield battery come in, show this respect, and then guess what? He even opens that up to there's only one player in here. Only one player. He's treating it like it's the end of the world.
opens the door to the left to trick her out.
Boom. And he's always got cover. Look, even after he kills her, he pops back into cover. Every single element. And if you look at these earlier shots as well, they're all under cover. He's got something in between him and the player. And this is something that you guys need to remember. This is something Tim showcases us really well. And this is going to be our second note that we're going to bring to the table here, which let's bring it up. Oh, I love this. It's called Calmly Rider, by the way, guys. And shout-outs to this Hal video. We don't need that anymore. Our second note here, guys, getting out of cover. Oops, that's not that. It is getting out of cover. This is getting all wacky here. There we go, number 2. And we'll just make sure that we 3 and 4. We'll deal with that when the time comes. Getting out of cover, giving up your advantage. It happens way too often in Apex Legends for players who have decent aim, and it's also one of my biggest problems. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. This is a mistake that you would have if you were playing Apex Legends and you just were expecting to go out there and shoot people and just outgun them. Your movement and your pace is so important, and the cover that you have. It's interesting how that doesn't translate as much because he wants to go play Warzone.
Right, he's resing him right here. If you push
but
it,
it's a tenant in almost everything. Okay, I want to skip forward to something else. So the way this game ends for Tim is he actually is doing really well here, fighting in cover. They have to go down into just a pretty bad spot. And this is another thing that I wanted to mention right here, this clip.
I did not anticipate that.
So this is where
Nice shot,
Tim
guys.
dies, and I think
a
he
close
makes a
game.
very great point in just this decision, and this is what a lot of us would do. Okay, you get down in this moment, you see a guy there, you start firing, you start shooting. There's 3 squads left. You're just trying to get rid of your opponent. And unfortunately, he gets taken down. Now, what does that allow us to see about this play? I think the biggest thing that allows me to see, and I'm just going to freaking, I don't know. There we go. There we go. I don't know how that gets there. But we're going to go here and say risk versus, oh, it sounds so nice. I see why people love typewriters. Challenging. Yep. Oh, man. Healing behind cover. Then attacking. We saw this in the previous clip. One of the things that he does, well, that won't work there. One of the things that he does really well is he makes this play predictable for the Octane. He's right there. He throws the gas canister. This is actually just probably instinctual to use your abilities, just to do it, right? That's precious time. He could have been shooting. He gets the shot out. His movement and his shots are fine, but he's just too much under pressure. He doesn't have enough health. So why not take this fight from right here at the stairs? You at least, if someone feels like someone's shooting behind him, you at least have cover from the Octane here. And you at least say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and try to hit a med kit. If I do, worst case scenario, the Octane pushes me. He becomes easy to manipulate. He runs through this channel. I know where he's coming from. Secondly, what you can have is at least full health. And that means that even if the Octane didn't push you and he healed, you're at the same level. You're guaranteeing, hey, I'm at least not at a disadvantage, which is something that thinking defensively is very, very important. But the cost-benefit analysis of trying to just outgun someone right here is where Apex can get frustrating because it's not easy to outgun people, and you're not looking at Ace and Hal outgunning people. What you're looking at is them taking fights that are always favorable for them. And Timmy, trusting his aim as a good player as he should, he's just taking fights that actually most people would lose. And that's the difference. We have this high level, the winners keep winning, the rich keep getting richer, where the best players keep putting themselves in easier situations to win, and players who need that help keep putting themselves in situations that obviously aren't so successful. Tim goes on to go ahead and get a few more games here and win, but I really wanted to just end this while his gameplay kind of talks about what this final moment is for him. That if you're going to play Apex Legends and you're gonna look at, listen, it's unfortunate that he doesn't want to play it anymore, but the reason he's had this experience is because, look, he's playing ranked. Ranked is not Apex Legends where you can thrive, where you can go ahead. Hal could not play the way he plays in pubs in ranked. Well, maybe not Hal, because Hal plays like he plays in ranked in pubs. But Ace and Timmy and these guys, when you see these videos and they're just 20 bombs, 7K damage onto a lot of unsuspecting people, that's because they're in pubs, casuals. Warzone community thought it was very interesting that Apex had ranked, and so they were able to take the Apex Legends kind of, swallow the Apex Legends pill of learning how to get better at this game because it had value, unlike Warzone, which doesn't have a rank system. That was one of the biggest things they wanted. And now the fact that they're realizing that this game is really hard, that this isn't really... their skills aren't ready to play at the highest level of ranked. They're saying, well, yeah, there's no point. It's not a very violent, momentous, speedy game. I'm not going to mention that there's a lot of Octane Caustic being played. I'm not going to mention that there's a lot of Fuse being played in a lot of the videos that I've seen. He's played a lot of the champions. He played Apex day one. And he knows. I'm sure he's been aware of it. But most importantly, I wanted to use this clip not to say anything bad about Tim. I love Tim. I think he's a really great jack-of-all-trades player. He's one of the most entertaining streamers in the world. Congrats on the YouTube partnership. But I do want to say that for those newcomers coming from Warzone or people coming from Apex, that hopefully this can give you a few tips on some things to avoid void to be better, and also a direction. Start playing pubs, start playing arenas, start learning the game and the mechanics and some of the basic tendencies, then take that to ranked, because that's how you'll have a much better time playing this game. All right, guys, leave a like. We got more pro profiles coming up later, and as always, never give up, never stop gaming. I'll see you all next time.